So we're doing races tonight and religion, and we're going to be going through each of the different races. Um, and we're going to deep dive each one of them, kind of wine and dine each one of them, go through the artwork, give us kind of our point of view, what we think of them. And please, in our chat, let us know what you think of them too. And with that, Missy, you have the mic.
All right. All right. So, Verra is a world with rich and diverse cultures. Many of its important history have been dominated by the major races: humans of the coast and plains, orcs within the hills and the marshes, elves in the forest and the riverlands, and the esteemed dwarves of the mountains. The major races have held dominance through countless wars and skirmishes between the lesser races of Verra. Decades may pass between these flare-ups of violence. There are many minor races on Verra. Some of the minor races exist in makeshift villages or tribes, if you will. Some of the major villages among the minor races are comprised primarily of the giants, less reputable sects of human, gnomes, and halflings. The halflings are not halflings in a traditional sense, but actually half-bloods of different races. Wandering the darker places in the world lie truly sinister abominations of creation. The great churches of civilization often dispatch heroes of the state to eliminate these threats to mortals. There currently exist 4 great nations on Verra. This is 25 years roughly before the fall: the Aelan Empire, Pyrian Kingdom, the Kaivek Protectorate, and the nation of the Dunsincal. There was not always only 4 great nations. Long ago, the races were more divided into many nations and city-states. In the 7,000 years of recorded history, wars upon wars were fought, some for land, others for resources, many for beliefs. Royal houses stood and fell over the years, some now long bereft of lordship. Many city-states exist in Verra, some self-governed bastions of democracy and republics alike. Others are vassal states at the behest of their benefactors.
Yep. And if you start hearing things about like the fall and all that stuff, we have all those videos on YouTube if you're wanting to kind of know about what exactly the fall was, what caused it, leading up to it, and then how we're actually returning to Vera. So, all right, so let's go into Kaelar. So these are the human races. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start from the top, go there, and then we'll look at the artwork.
Okay, so the Kaelar are build, order, and civilization. These are the foundational principles of the Kaelar. Their empire in the old world spanned the largest of all, and they plan to do the same in this world. Extremely loyal to their roots, the Kaelar will rise to the challenge. So the Kaelar have a European racial influence. So Aela humans. The Aela humans are split into 2 races, Kaelar and Veloon. The Aelan Empire is the most recent successor of the once great House of Lineth. For over 1,000 years, the House of Lineth, or Lineth, ruled over the Aela. A golden age endured for most of their reign. It was only during the dawn of the last century before the fall, during the Great War of the Undying, that the house fell. With no suitable heir to the Lineth throne, the country fell into chaos. What arose is the fragile republic we see today. Overseen by the emperor elected through the Council of Five, the 5 who governed the greatest cities on the empire. The Aelan Empire is by far the largest nation in all of Verra, with over 8 million souls among its inhabitants. Aelans also represent the single largest population on Verra. Their borders touch upon every other nation, and with their interests of expansion on the seas of Verra, they are able to deploy their widely feared armies to any shore. The Empire uses this fear to bully many city-states, bending them to their will. Those who deny the will of the Empire often find themselves at the end of a sword.
Well, there you go.
They seem a little vicious.
Just a little bit.
A little bit, a little tiny bit vicious.
It looks like their artistic influence is French medieval influence, which I could definitely see that. All right. I'll go to the big picture, let these load up here. So as we can tell right here, so this is technically, I think this is, yeah, these are the orcs. They will be, looks like they're bigger than the humans, so keeping with the size difference there. But as the orcs almost look like tribal, definitely the Kaelar are going to be your typical kind of like very armored Europeans.
Yeah, we don't even get to see their faces in there.
Nope, 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 nope.
Darn.
So this right here, so they're kind of, so this one right here is actually, so the Kaelar, so you have your humans on the left here. And then, so as you can see, like this is the difference I was telling you guys about was, so you kind of have your mace right here for a Kaelar and a staff. Technically you can't see it right there, but there we go. Right there it says that there's a lion on top, and then this one's the Empyrean. So I think the Empyrean was the woodland elves, or was that the more clean-cut elves?
The Empyrean are not the woodland ones, they're the other ones.
Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, so this mace is the same as this mace practically, but because depending on what race is wielding it, it will change its look. And this, I don't know about you, Missy, but that aspect just, I don't know, it hit me. I was just like, bam. How cool is that, Missy? Like, all the other modes that we've played.
The Kaelar, like, that's really interesting because they have, it looks like a lion.
Yeah, it's a lion on
the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a totally different look. Like, those maces are completely different looking.
Well, even the staffs, those are the same staff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, like even the bow and arrow, you know, there's a lot more, you know, elven looking to it, but it's the same bow. But I mean, Missy, I mean, I guess, like, I mean, to you who likes a lot of cosmetics, I mean, you know, like, you can't look at somebody like, oh, I really like that dress anymore now, because say you're an elf and you see a really, you know, you're all about dresses and you see a really pretty dress on a human female, you're like, oh, I really like that. You can't get that unless you have, guess what? An alt human. So.
And it depends possibly too which type of human you are too. So you'd have the Kaelar or the Valoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know if they're going to differ between those as well, not just the race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the different.
Because that Empyrean, because they're imperial and they're city people as opposed to like the woodland elves.
Yep. Oh yeah, no, it's different. So that too.
Yep. So yeah, depending on what you are, everything's going to look different.
Yeah, because the Valoon are going to be more Middle Eastern, you know, like looking, like their architecture and all that stuff. So, see, it's going to be different with that. All right, go back on this. Okay, and go back to this. Go to the next thing. So here's kind of a closer look at the bow, kind of the different structures here.
So much detail.
Yeah. So as you can tell, I mean, like this right here, it doesn't let me go on that, but yeah. So I mean, even the most finest details are being practically looked at here. Yeah, like I said, Unreal Engine 4, I think is what they're working with right now. So we will go. Here you go, Missy. So as you can tell, European, right? So, you know, and technically, you know, they said they're not going to be really sexualized, but you know, this one's kind of on that that side of it a little bit more. But I think these are almost authentic looks, Missy.
You're going to know who's a girl and who's a guy. Let's put it that way.
Well, I don't know.
Well, she's definitely not looking like a guy. She looks like a girl. Serving drinks in the tavern.
Yeah. So you could definitely, and taverns, guys, we covered that last time with the role playing. You literally can have a tavern that you host other people. Like if somebody wants to come to use, so at your freehold, which is your housing, which is an actual own little plot, they can come and rent your tavern practically. They'll pay you in-game currency, and you could have like tabletop games, and you could role play that you're a barmaid and this is your tavern. And see, there you go, Missy.
Ah,
That's your life
I'll be
right
the
there.
tavern owner.
Exactly.
I don't know though. As an elf, maybe if I choose a human, but I am leading towards the pyre.
Yeah, definitely. So here's some of the kind of European look. Like that's what's cool about this is not everything is like huge shoulders. This is literally real life gear almost in a way. So
The
so
guy
that
on the right looks like Anthony Hopkins.
right. Oh yeah, he does.
Totally.
So
Anthony, pour me a pint.
right, definitely. And all the different colors and looks and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. So here you go, Missy. What do you think of these?
Now, are those dwarves?
Well, this is a dwarf on the left side, but like I said, these weren't, you know, but these right here are the humans.
The humans?
Yeah, your Empyreans.
Hmm.
So what do you think of that?
They're okay. I want to see more elves.
Well,
How do it always ends up an elf?
we'll definitely get to them tonight. But I think this is definitely maybe this is like an attire that you get if you become a king or a queen of a castle. If your guild takes over a castle, so you never know.
That's kind of a pretty dress.
Yeah. So as you can see, so like your gear is really going to change. Um, so some of these kind of look like the starting gear kind of looks kind of plain right now, but it's supposed to, right? It's starting gear. They haven't. I don't think they've even showed what kind of in-game gear looks like or what it will look like yet.
At least we get clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some games you don't even get clothes.
Nope. BDO's that the same way right there, right? Let's
Yep.
see here. It's kind of a more of a 3D texture here. I really like, and I don't know about you guys watching, just the aspect of you actually have like depth to the gear. Things aren't just one layer of gear. You could actually see wrinkles in the leather, difference, depth to the flaps and the piece and the straps like that. I think that's really cool. What do you think, Missy?
Yeah, I like it. It's very realistic looking. Doesn't look pristine
Yeah,
like in any other games. Like the wrinkles do add a nice realistic touch. I do like that.
definitely. That's just that. So this is the architecture we were talking about. So if you have a Kaelar node, and you're leveling it up, I think these are like um, town and all the way up to metropolis buildings. But as you can see, um, and I think some of these, if they look different, like I think this might be a different race right here versus this one. Um, this is a freehold, so Swaith, I don't know if you're watching. So this is your housing right here. So you have this whole little lot right here. So you could have a farm, you could be growing stuff, literally Farmville right here, guys. You have your house. Um, it could be a tavern. I mean, it doesn't have to actually be a house. It could just be a tavern. You live upstairs. But yes, this is a freehold, and it's going to be right next to the node. And this will be reflective of your race as well. So I think this is a Kaelar housing. As you can tell, it's like a European look to it. Now, Missy, though, you got something special. So you got this month's package, right?
I did. Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I have a nice glowy blue home that is a tree.
Yeah. So Missy's good for alpha too, guys. So.
Yep, I
I'm
will be in the alpha.
I'm still waiting for mine, and then I'll spend the big money on it. But can't do it yet. I'm looking for particulars. It's lightning, blue, dragons. I'll even take maybe some, like, I don't know. They had a snow one. I probably would have did the snow one, but it was almost kind of like a Night Watch from Game of Thrones. It was like a Night Watch theme almost.
It's very Jon Snow.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Here's some more buildings. Kind of just go through this. Just to kind of pop this in real quick, this is one of the divine gates that people escaped through when the fall was happening, practically when the world was ending. So this was the gate, and then when you start your character, there's going to be 4 divine gates, and you're going to start, because there's 4 primary races, but you have 2 versions of each. So it's almost like Final Fantasy. Well, no, it is like Final Fantasy in that manner. Final Fantasy 14. But yeah, so you'll come out of these gates, and that's where you'll start your adventure. So here's an actual, like, drawn Kaelar tank concept. Let me bring it up so it actually comes up correctly. So this is looking kind of like a more in-game look to it. As you see, it's not gigantic shoulders. Some people will not like that, right?
Very Stormwind.
Yeah, Kaelar screams like Alliance and humans.
Oh yeah.
So
Right down to the lion.
yeah,
And the colors.
yeah, that'll be pretty interesting. Yeah, I really like that though.
Now see if they could give you that.
Mm-hmm.
That's very endless.
Yeah, so this is Kaelar. This is I think a village or a town at this point. So it reflects it. I mean, just looks like a European town, right? So kind of going back through this, we've already kind of seen that. Here's an actual detailed look at that staff that we saw before. As you can see just how much actual detail is on these things. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And this might be like a relic or maybe a mage. This is maybe like kind of like a, almost like a red mage, that one little floating orb that they have with their sword. Maybe that's something, maybe, or a summoner, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it looks like the top of a wand or a sword.
Yeah, here you go. Here's kind of a colored one. So here you go, Missy. I want you to talk about this one because Empyrean. Well, I think you don't know exactly which elf you're going to be, but there's your difference. So what do you think?
Probably, well, one's human, one's elf.
Mm-hmm.
I like the elf, the Empyrean, but I don't know what that would look like because I'm more geared towards the Pyre, so it would probably look more wooden.
Probably.
For the Pyre.
What about you, Chris? If you're still watching here, which one would you pick? This is elf. Empyrean is like kind of high elves. Kaelar is like Eastern European.
Empyreans are the snooty elves.
Yeah.
That looks like.
Well.
But they're very detailed.
Yeah, definitely.
Like even the front and back are different. Like they're showing you there's a front and a back, right?
No cat girls, I don't know. Hey, you know what? We all can't, Well, hey.
Those halflings, you never know.
Well, so, I mean, like we talked about yesterday, Chris, Elon Musk, he's going to give you your real life AI robot cat girl. So you won't need a game for that no more. Make it happen. So here's some more of that gear. So I think this is like the end game almost of what we saw in that picture. So I think, yeah, it's pretty nice. Like I said, I love the depth perception on even like designs and stuff like that.
I like it.
Here's a mace from Empyrean to Kaelar. Okay, actually, here you go, guys. So this actually is concept, but as you see, so the basic mace itself, the body, is right here. Here, let me actually kind of click into this. So as you can see, so the base model of the mace is right here, but depending on your race, changes other little aspects. So that's kind of how they're going to be giving it to us, is, you know.
Fox.
So they won't have to really
sweet.
completely design a brand new mace for each race, but little add-ons.
It's like the very, very base model will stay the same.
Yeah, base model, and depending on your race, is this. Now see, this elf one's actually pretty cool. Like, they kind of like, it's like really flared out.
See, so that's why I like the elves.
Yeah.
They're artistic and artsy.
Alright. Let's kind of go through these a little bit. These are personal dwellings within a city, town. Like I said, European styles, guys. So, I mean, everything's going to have its own unique look. Like castles. I think this is like going to be kind of like an apartment place here. Churches. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. Okay, so here we go. So, like, fortifications and barracks. So this is probably going to be like a village, a town, or even before that, I think maybe like it's not going to be the very first one, but as your node gets bigger, as you can tell, like, it'll definitely grow. So that's really cool. And I think this is dwarf. These two, I don't know, maybe that one looks dwarf. These ones are kind of hard to say which one's which, though, to be honest, guys. They almost kind of look human.
It says Kaelar, fortifications and barracks. So they may all be Kaelar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they probably are. It's just, I know the square look right here really looks like dwarven. Like, you guys will definitely see. Some more little sheds here. Kind of go through these a little bit quicker. If you see anything you want to talk about, Missy, you let me know.
No, I'm quite happy with my treehouse. Thank you very much.
Right? Missy's like, I don't care. Okay, here you go, guys. Here you go. Alright, so this is male and female. So as you can see, there's not that much difference. I mean, there is some difference, but especially with the chest plate, of course. But as you can tell too, and there will be, if people are asking, there is a booby slider, just so you know. So yeah, so like the breastplates will be, they're not going to be abnormal like BDO. You can, you know, look, it won't be abnormal like that, but as you can tell,
goodness for that.
Yeah. So Missy, so I want to get your point, and even Chris, you can kind of put your point too. So okay, so this is the female character, and they said they're not going to really, they're going to make it look like if you are a tank, you're going to be covered. Now, do you agree with that? Like, in the sense of coming from Final Fantasy XIV, where you can have a cat girl with little to no armor on, but she's tanking. Which I think, to be honest, Chris, that's your character. So, so Missy,
I think this is, like, if they're going for realism, well, this is the reality. You're a tank, you're up front. You're not going to be fighting somebody fully armored in a bikini, and you're okay. And you're not going to get injured. So,
but
yes,
what if
this is appropriate.
Well, what if the bikini's armor, right? Right, Chris?
Are you saying like flesh-colored armor?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not real flesh, but that's actually space-age flesh armor? Like
Mm-hmm.
what? No. No,
No,
no, no.
no,
No.
that's
You
funny.
want to be all cutesy and wear stuff, then you stand back and you be a spellcaster. You
Yeah.
can wear all the bikinis you want when you're not in the front lines.
Now, I think it'd be cool though, because I do. Like I said, 14 is definitely purely a lot of that gear. Even the heavier stuff just looks a lot better on the female models, right? We talked about this yesterday. Um, Now, it'd be cool though if you could somehow tank and have the more revealing clothing, right? But your second class that you pick um, gives you the ability. So let's say like you're a mage, but then you I guess you fuse with the tank, so you become like a mage tank. So you can look more revealing per the actual clothing, and but your magic
So
is
you're a
what
tank.
yeah, but your magic is what's defending you, not the armor. Would you go
I
with
think
that,
you're
Missy?
grasping. I think you're grasping.
You're going
I
grasping.
think you are truly grasping and trying to justify the half-naked girl tank.
I don't know.
That's my opinion. I think this is absolutely appropriate gear
You think so?
for a female tank that's up close and personal fighting. I do.
Okay, we'll go with
And
that.
if we're going, like I said, you have the option of not being a tank. You can be a spell chucker, and you're not in the heat of battle. You're throwing out either elements or elementals are fighting for you or whatever else. They're up close and personal. Then sure, you can have the cloth and
Oh, Menphilia's calling.
I forgot to turn Minfilia down. She, she always like messages at the most inopportune of times.
Right. It's that or it's her boyfriend, guys.
Thancred.
Thancred. So
Well, you know.
I know he's like an old man, right?
And problem?
All right.
Don't diss my Thancred.
So here you go, guys. It's the first time I've actually seen this picture. So this one's gonna be like a settlement. So there's nothing there, but because people have done a lot of either gathering, killing, questing in that one area, this pops up. Um, and like I said, the NPCs there will give you quests. They'll give you other stuff. So, and then the more and more you do, this keeps upgrading all the way up to Metropolis, and you unlock more things. Like I said, the game director or designer today said that the more people that play, the more people are active, the more things are going to happen, and they are counting on every single day you log in, going to be a totally different day. One day you might be farming, the next day you might be defending your farm from a dragon. So.
Stay off my farm, Brad. Don't you touch my farm and my tavern and my treehouse. It's very vulnerable.
Oh, so here you go. So I gotta keep clicking next, guys, because so this is upgrading to I think a village from here. So that's really cool. I really like the dynamicness of this. It's not just gonna be static, you know. So that's really cool. And this is upgrading
And it could
itself
change every
again.
day, too.
Oh,
It could look different on a daily basis.
good, yeah.
Like real life.
Yeah, this is getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. This is a town right here. So yeah, and this is Metropolis. So this is what a Kaelar Metropolis will look like. I mean, yeah, I would say this is Metropolis. Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
have your
yeah.
freeholds,
Definitely.
farmlands all around it. Um, if there's a market in this place, and this is an economic node, you can actually run your own little shop, your own little stall. And they're talking about applications for your phones that you can actually update and sell stuff through your phone on the app. from your stall. So yeah. There you go. Yeah, these are cool pictures, guys. I haven't even looked at these ones. So Metropolis, Kaelar, nighttime. Yes, this is cool.
Pretty.
Very pretty. Little party going on. What do you think of that, Missy?
Yeah, little flamenco for me.
Yeah, a little too much.
It's pretty though. It's very detailed.
Yeah. Here's some different beard styles for you guys.
Sideburns.
Sideburns.
But we are going into Movember.
Yep. So yet again, kind of starting off there. Mage outfit. Now, Missy, okay, so I want to ask you about this. You are the crazy cosmetic person. And anyone else, give your input too. Do you feel like, especially in a video game, like, we really like how this gear looks, how realistic it looks, but do you think it is also, though, on the cusp of also being boring?
No, I wouldn't say boring. No. It's kind of like how I first kind of felt about Final Fantasy. Remember when I was in there, I was like, it's all just kind of leathery looking. And then I grew to love it, and I loved it even more.
Yeah.
This is all prototypes, too. They're not finished product. Like, you're looking at the one that looks like it's finished, the one that was purple and gold and all that. No, that is definitely not boring at all.
Yeah.
These are like gray clay models we're looking at. This might not even be finished. This is just showing you like the beginning draftings of how they want to look. But no, I don't find it boring.
Well, I mean,
at
even
all.
just the concept, I mean, from, you know, like, if we're going to make this look like a realistic armor, you know, but this is supposed to be a world of magic and fantasy. Do you feel like if your world is more, which is fine, right? I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here. But if your world is crazy, magical, colorful, like shit's going on, like just all over the place, and dragons, all this stuff, and you look like a basic bee, we'll put it that way. You know, do you think, like, I'm hoping, I said this is all still coming out, right, guys?
Okay, let's look at Lord of the Rings. Let's look at their clothes.
Okay.
They had magic, they had all sorts of things. Were they all shiny and sparkly? No.
The elves were kind of.
A little bit, but we haven't looked at the elves yet.
Yeah.
Right? This is just humans, and you're looking at warriors, and these people are seafarers, from what I can see. They're out on the sea. They're wielding swords. Yeah.
So you go. So this is like, the actual in-game of that. So.
Well, let's say, take a look at that. That's probably one of the most intricate looking pieces I've seen in an MMO.
That'd be a caster one too. Male caster.
Yeah. And is that just like starting gear? Like that could be just your starting gear for all we know, which is pretty intricate.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I think they're having a lot of that stuff in their back pocket right now. They're just worrying about their systems and getting them working the way that they need to. But it'd be cool if, and I know they're showing us more and more, but they're holding a lot of stuff to the chest, especially being 2 years out.
Yeah,
it'll be a slow process. But here's some more kind of. That's actually really cool. Some different kind of customizations. As far as customizations go, if you guys are wondering, we said it before, is their model that they're going after, the basis is BDO, Black Desert Online. So if you've ever played Black Desert Online and you know their character customization, they're saying that is their like standard, so BDO or better. So,
which is amazing because it took me 6 hours to build my character. Yeah. 6 solid hours to make her look exactly how I wanted her to look. And I think everybody wants to be able to look unique. They all want to look individualized, not just pick between, 6 hairstyles, 6 different faces.
Yeah,
You want to, just like in real life, look different. You want to have your own personal, unique look.
definitely.
And I think that's the way MMOs are going now.
Yep. All right, and